Diburei Emuna, the second Chelek, Daf Pei Zayin. It was in one Shavuos when Rabbi Shimon, the Rebbe's first Talmud, when the Rebbe was still young. He became the Rebbe's Talmud when the Rebbe was 13. Shimon was older, was much older. When Rabbi Shimon came from Eretz Yisrael, after he stayed 10 years in Eretz Yisrael, because he came there with his son, and it was very difficult for Rabbi Shimon to find a zivuk for himself in Eretz Yisrael. And he came to the town of Breslov. You know, Rabbi Shimon is buried in Tzfas.
Right,
in Tzfas, that's right. And the story with Rabbi Shimon, he's probably saying, I don't know. The story with Rabbi Shimon was that he was Mishamash the Rebbe. He was Mishamash the Rebbe. And once the Rebbe was on a wagon and was going down the hill, and one of the axles broke. It was sakana that the wagon Chas v'Chelek will fall off the cliff. So Reb Shimon jumped off, and Reb Shimon asked the Rebbe all the time, you know, you should be zorcha to be Mishamash in Olam Haba. You should be his servant in Olam Haba.
Sure.
Yeah, and so Reb Shimon jumped off the carriage and stood in the place of the horse. Picked up and he braked he braked the carriage and stopped it from falling off the cliff. So the Rebbe asked him, "What do you want?" He saved the Rebbe's life. So he said, "I want to be Yom Shamash in Olam Haba." So the Rabbeinu says, even though you did a great thing, but it's not enough for something like this. So then, Rabbeinu said that his mother, Aleh Shalom, Masfega, came to him in a dream. He said, "Why don't you promise him that he should be Yom Shamash in Olam Haba?" So he promised Reb Shimon that he'll be Yom Shamash in Olam Haba. And Reb Nosson was jealous.
What's here?
What?
It's around this.
It's a mice. Whatever. Reb Nosson was jealous of him, of this. Reb Nosson, he didn't care anything. This, oh man, he was like unbelievably jealous of him, of this promise that Rabbeinu said that he will be Mishamash in Olam Haba. That's why Anish go to his kever and, you know, in Tzfas, and ask him to tell the Rebbe this, tell the Rebbe that, and they can't get to Ummah. They go to
Reb Shimon.
They go to Reb Shimon. He says he's with him. He's Mishamash him. It's his servant. That's why they go there. So one Shavuos, when Reb Shimon came back from Eretz Yisrael, he came to Breslov to be by Reb Nosson. This Shavuos is that Shavuos that the Anish called the Große Shavuos. That was called the great Shavuos. Why? Because then a lot of people came to Reb Nosson. Then it was great Yisraelos, and everybody was like. And then Reb Shimon heard then from Reb Nosson the Torah Tiku Teichachal, the Rebbe's last Torah that he said in Rosh Hashanah just before he passed away. And the time of the saying of the Torah, that when Rabbeinu said the Torah, the Olam didn't hear it well, because it was whispered, because the Rebbe was very, very ill. And, you know, then the Rebbe said the Torah, Mamash Mesiras Nefesh, you know, he put everything he had into it. And when Reb Nosson repeated it, it was for them like a brand new Torah. It was a brand new Torah. And Reb Nosson then, you know, continued and was Marek saying the halacha on that Torah, like Likut Halachas. And there was an unbelievable service. And the people were like on fire, like they were on fire. And when he heard this unbelievable Diburei of Reb Nosson, Reb Shimon had such a spilus that he turned to one of Talmidei Rabbeinu, to Rabbi Yitzchak, the son-in-law of the Tirovetz Magid, and he told him, is doch der Rebbe allein. He is the Rebbe himself. And he said, and he added, he says, I'm a maven, on Rebbe. Because I came close to Rabbeinu in the time of Heilige Tzaddikim, the Berditcher, the Balatanya, the big Tzaddikim, the Choyz of Lublin. He says, I'm maven of Rabbanim. I'm maven of Rebbes, And when I came, he says, when I came close to the Rebbe, I was still young. Before I got married. He says, well, I'm telling you that today Reb Nosson is Tzaddik Ador. Reb Nosson is Tzaddik Ador. And he says, and obviously he says, Rabbeinu anointed Reb Shimon his Talmud, and he was Zoicha durch Meshamish in Olam Haba. He says, Sichei Mo'olam, Simon Taf Kuf Lamedalet. So, when Reb Nosson, he heard his shushkening, he says, I know I'm not the Rebbe. I know I'm not the Rebbe. I know I'm not the Rebbe. How about all these unbelievable diburim that the Olam had such a going on? He says, this is the Rebbe's moyach and my mouth. The Rebbe's moyach and my mouth. What Hashem will continue tomorrow. Da-da-da.